Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Judith Stein-Farrall was born in New York City, but as she told us in her first speech here, she also lived in California, Texas, and Colorado, among other places. And she knows about hot peppers. When she witnessed her New Year's contest speech last week about her Carolina Reaper experience, she knew she had a better story. Today, to possibly start and possibly to one-up Kim's offering, she presents her pepper monologue.
Actually, it's 3 monologues. It's a lesson in lessons in 3 monologues. First monologue, college. And the lesson, don't put things in your eye. When I was in college living on the ramen and macaroni and cheese diet, my roommate, my dorm mate, and my boyfriend at the time decided to splurge and go out for Chinese food. And we ate family style, right? Everybody orders something specific, and then you share. My favorite choice was Szechuan chicken and peanuts. Has anyone had Szechuan chicken and peanuts? What's in those chicken and peanuts? Little red peppers that are more like shells, right? You don't eat those. Those are for flavor. Now you know. We sat there and eating, and there's another table topics or another story about my friend next to us who decided to eat the red peppers, but I was smart enough to take my chopsticks and occasionally my fingers and move them to the side of the plate while I ate the chicken and the cashew, the celery, and all the good stuff in there. I also have really bad vision. I've been wearing glasses since I was 3 and contacts since I was 8. And back in those days when I got my contacts, we wore the hard, rigid contacts that happened to pop out periodically. I know you know where this is going. And my contact lens decides to pop out. Somewhere in my history of wearing contact lenses, we also learned, and this is not advice, someone told me that in a pinch, in a real pinch, you can use, in place of saline solution, saliva from you. And I had done it, and it had worked. So my lens starts to pop out, and I just casually take it and put it on my tongue and put the contact in my eye. I spent the next 10 minutes in the bathroom pouring water into my eye. Lesson 1. Monologue number 2, a borrowed story. Wasabi, by the way, is not the same as a pepper, but it is a very spicy horseradishy type of treat. The borrowed story is that the boyfriend from the first story became my husband in the second story, and he was out working on the road, and his boss was buying the whole team who had installed computer equipment, buying them a big Japanese sushi dinner. And they had boats and boats of sushi. Well, you know what those, when you go out and you get, there was lots of sushi, and the boss was buying them all this meal, and there was lots of wasabi, and there was lots of ginger, and there was lots of sake. And they were having a great time. And my husband's boss, Hector, says, "Check, please." And he gets the check, and he's looking at the check, and suddenly my husband relates the story. He's going, and everyone around the table saying, Hector, if it was too expensive, we'll chip in. It's okay. And he's going, no. By the way, your sinuses start in your throat and go up to the back of your nose. And he's going, no. I got wasabi up my nose. Monologue number 3. Chili sauce. And sometimes the lessons the recipe writers, Tim, sometimes the recipe writers do know something, okay? As I mentioned, I was born in New York City, but I've also lived in California, Colorado, and Texas. And when I moved back east, not home, but east to New Jersey, I missed chili sauce that used to be on the kitchen tables of everyone I knew, and really good chili sauce and the green chili sauce in the restaurants. So I was at the farmer's market one day, and I saw these beautiful chilies in the farmer's market and decided that I was going to go home and make chili sauce so that I would have some for some chicken or something later on. And I came home with this bag of chilies, and I kind of glanced at a recipe and said, okay, yeah, I don't have the gloves either. I'm going to slice the chilies and roast them, which I did. And then I took them out, and I proceeded to pick them up and peel the skin off, and then take the seeds out of them, and then slice them up and add them to the broth and the onions and all the good stuff that makes a beautiful green chili sauce, and put it on the stove. And then I sat down to watch some Saturday night TV, and my hands started burning. And they didn't just start burning, they turned splotchy. And I'm looking at my husband, who, by the way, has a couple of degrees and an engineering degree and a chemistry degree, and saying, what do I do? And he's like, I don't know. Well, we have kids. What's the phone number you all kept on your refrigerator at that time? Poison control, right? Right. So I call poison control. What do I do? They're like, I don't know. It's an oil, though. It will dissipate. It won't kill you. And I'm like, yeah, fine. So one of the lessons I learned was watching MacGyver. Milk products, chocolate can stop an acid flow, right? So milk should be able to stop an acidic vegetable burning, right? So I sat there with my hands in milk for a while. Doesn't do anything. I sat there with my hands in beer for a while. Doesn't do anything. I finally put ice in a bag and just sat there watching TV for a few hours with ice. And then it was time for bed. And I had to take my contacts out. Lesson learned. I used a plastic bag. I did. I did not touch my tongue. I used a plastic bag and pulled my contacts out. The message of this story is, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Here, Tim.